Alright, don't you just love that jazz? It's so soothing. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have a bad power steering pump. That's why I removed this thing, and we need to get it taken care of. So this is a P pump, not like a TC pump on a Cherokee or a Wrangler. This is more like a Chevy style pump. So I'm just going to take that pump out. It comes out of this housing, and as you can see, there is a lot of buildup, a lot of metal shavings stuck on this magnet that was inside that pump. It's pretty cool that it's in there. Actually, it catches most of that and keeps it from going throughout your system. So pretty nice little feature there. These pumps come separately than the housing, or you can buy them together, but you don't need to buy the whole thing if you don't want. You just rebuild them with a new pump. And as you can see, my housing has a little bit of custom work to it. So we're just putting these O-rings on there, and another O-ring is going to go on the inside of this piece here. All those O-rings seal to the housing. So now you just line up your P-pump housing to your pump, and there's these bolts that are then going to go onto the brackets that hold this pump into place afterwards. So just use those bolts to line it up. At least that's what I'm doing. And then I actually used my vise to squeeze it down a little bit. Alright, that thing is beautiful. Now it's time to put her back in. Don't forget where it goes. And then cue over dramatic music.
Stand up on my own. Turns out sometimes you're stronger alone. Bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero. Look inside the mirror, I find one. Oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12. Don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself. Got burned, but I learned. Our scars make us who we are. Now I'm 10 feet tall over my demons. Remind me no one's got me like myself. Yeah, I love me without any help. I'm the best thing to believe in. So I'm bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero. Look inside the mirror, I find one. Oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12. Don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself. Crumble into pieces, but I got a million reasons why I won't. 'Cause this heavy is a season, and the sun is always right behind the storm. Bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero. Look inside the mirror, I find one. Oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12. Don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself.
Alright, so this hose that we're replacing, well, it used to be longer. This is the hose right here, and you can see it's kind of been shortened because it hit the harmonic balancer and got cut. You can see it just comes straight down now, and it used to follow this other hose and wrap all the way around. And one day I was wheeling and it hit that harmonic balancer, cut a hole, and it started spewing fluid everywhere. But the unique thing about these hoses is they're rebuildable, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So this is a rebuildable end on the hose, and you're just going to spin the end off of the fitting. Try not to drop your wrench. So check this out. These are really cool and really handy to have out on the trail, because you can always rebuild or even make your own hose, even make one for somebody else. The unique thing about this though is that it's reverse threaded onto the rubber. So if you ever come across one of these, don't try to pull this thing off like a normal fitting. You're going to go righty-loosey. Lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. Hopefully you don't already have issues with that, otherwise you're going to be really kerbobbled. So this is the kit that I carry in my Jeep at all times, and I'll leave a link down below on all these fittings and hoses and where you can find that. But here is the part number for the hose. If you are interested in that, pause that there and check it out. And these are the fittings. You can get these in 90-degree or straights. And I also carry these caps, a cap for the fitting and a cap for the hydraulic ram, in case you ever want to just block that off and not use it. So we need to make this hose longer, as it got cut too short. So we're going to also repair this hose, which hit something at some point. I think it was the harmonic balancer as well, and it cut it. Who knows how long it has. Here's the actual fitting itself. It's a really neat concept. We'll show you how it works. So on this fitting, I'm just going to take the fitting out and replace it with the new one. No need to replace that bottom section. Now we're going to make a new hose, and the best way to cut this is with the angle grinder and a cutoff wheel, but on the trail you might not have that. So the best way, and somebody showed me this, was to cut it with a big set of cutters, for like wire cutters. Big cable cutters is what they call them. If you're looking for them on Amazon, I'll leave a link down below as well. It's not easy, but if you put enough into it, it can be done. There's metal in that hose. That's why it's so tough. So there's the cut on the left and the cut on the right, factory cut on the right. So now when you put this first fitting on, you're going to put it on backwards. I've actually seen people just shove these down on there. It's not pretty. You want to make sure you figure that out. Reverse threaded. Now this fitting goes in and it all squeezes together, so everything gets squeezed together, and now you've made your own hydraulic fitting. How cool is that? And as you know, these hoses are pretty stiff, so you don't need that to face that direction. You can actually rotate it any direction you want. It doesn't have to be all the way cinched down as tight as possible. So we're going to back it off right there where it wants to be, and then cue music. Protective coating onto my hoses from trial and error. I'll leave a link down below in the description box where you can find that as well, but that stuff just protects it quite a lot more, keeps it from chafing, and it's pretty solid and tough coating. And you can put it on hoses that are already hooked up. Alright, so we've got that new cooler, we've got new power steering. Let's start it.
Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man's so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let her tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Beg, please get on your knees. Came from the jungle, up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the. Big shoes, check out the crease. Blow like I'm Bigfoot, step on the beat. Make a man's run till he step out the cleats. When the whole place scream, gotta get out the.
That looks much cleaner now. It'll be easier to work on. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Oh, that's looking so good. Oh, yummy.
There's something wrong with you.
Yummy. It will cut. Check out the way they wrapped this silicone heater hose that I got on Amazon. Seems like some pretty cool stuff, but I've never seen hose wrapped like that. But it's kind of weird. As soon as you unravel it, it's stuck together, but then it pops loose and opens right up. You guys ever seen anything like that? Alright, next up we have a cooler. Where do you think this thing's gonna go? One side is an oil cooler, the other side is a fan. But we're not gonna use this for oil cooling. We're gonna use these for something else. Check it out, I've also got a 180-degree thermostat. Can you guess what this is gonna be for? So it took me a lot of thinking and putting this thing in places where it wouldn't fit, and finally I figured this was the best place for it. Right here where I can weld by the fuel pump. Perfect. So I built a little stand. I built a little bracket to hold it, but it was still wibbly wobbly. So I cut this little brace and I'm gonna weld it right there. Now that thing is sturdy now. It ain't going anywhere. This music is really ramping up like something super exciting is about to happen. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for it! But no, we're just gonna watch paint dry. That's about all that's happening here. It's pretty boring. Yeah, and then I did all that work, 20 foot of hose, and it's a foot short. Doesn't that just happen every single time? So I did this, and it kind of sucks. end of voiceover. Okay, so the flow is directional. It's going in this way. I want to put that in the bottom so the air bubbles come out the top. Also, the temperature switch is right there at the bottom. So we'll go on here. Alright, I got that bottom one connected. Now I'm going to start it up. Let the air bubbles come out. Not true, I lied. If you ever want to make some really boring videos super exciting, all you do is add dramatic music. And then if it's anything like a scary movie, plot twist, nothing happens. Alright, I had to bring it outside and put it on. Oh shoot, that's hot! I had to put it on a hill. Get the front end higher. Of course, maybe it was also the thermostat finally opened or something like that. Finally, got all the air out of there. Yeehaw! After much deliberation on how to wire this thing, I finally decided to wire it straight to the battery. So instead of, the battery's right here, all my switches and crap are up in there in relays. So I decided not to go through a relay, but I did put a switch on it. And of course there's the temperature switch. So the way I've got this wired, if I did it correctly, on a hot day, you'll just come out here, and of course this will all be covered up by this panel. So you'll reach over, flip the switch on. Of course the fan won't come on though until it reaches 180 degrees, in which case that'll trip and ground this wire, and then you'll get power. So even though that switch is on doesn't mean it's on. It just means it's ready to go. It's engaged. So the fan ground goes to the switch, and then that goes to ground. The power goes to the switch, and then goes to the battery. Check it out, it's hot. Ooh, doggy. So I just drove it around the block. It's hot, even though I turned it off. Now that's why you want an actual switch instead of just relying on the temperature switch, because if you ever just want to kill it, then you'd have to have that. Otherwise it would just stay running anytime it was hot. So if you get out of the Jeep, you're chatting with buddies, you turn the Jeep off, you know, and you just come walk over here and kill it if you want. Need to tidy up those wires a bit, but other than that, that fan is done. Alright guys, I think we're ready to hit the trails at Moab. That's why I'm getting this Jeep ready, is to take it to Easter Jeep Safari, which is coming up. So if you're going, stay tuned to my Instagram and Facebook, because that's where I'll be announcing when we're having a ride. Nothing official, but I'll tell everybody when and where I'll be and what trail on a certain day. And I'd love for you guys to come out and join us and hang out. Colt's gonna be there. Matt's Off-Road Recovery might be there as well. He's gonna be staying at our condo, and I think we might have some fun. It sounds like a good time, and I hope you guys can come join us, and hope to see you there. So stay tuned to those social medias. We'll see you in the next one.